The owner of a sprawling ranch in northern Nevada has made a gruesome discovery: the carcasses of 8 wild horses gunned down near a watering hole.
Now, the identity of the gunman, though, is no mystery. The horses were shot multiple times by a federal agency, the Bureau of Land Management.
It is the latest skirmish now in a running battle between BLM and advocates for wild horses. The I-Team's George Knapp is here with a story that you will only see on 8 News Now. George?
You know, we've seen some horrible things done to wild horses over the years, but this is in a category all its own. Businesswoman Madeleine Pickens offered to take as many as 30,000 wild horses out of government pens and put them on her own 600,000-acre ranch in Elko County, a plan that could have saved the government an estimated $100 million. But Elko County is cattle country, so Pickens has faced opposition at every step. What happened to these horses has been described as a massacre, and we warn you, some of these images are very disturbing. Madeleine Pickens' plans to create Mustang Monument as an eco-sanctuary for wild horses and tourist attraction for Elko County have been opposed every step of the way by the BLM and by Elko County officials. It's unlikely Pickens will ever reopen the resort for business, even after spending $25 million to improve the ranches, ranges, forage, and water supplies. But she plans to always care for the hundreds of wild horses she saved from the slaughterhouse. In late August, though, bad went to worse.
These dead horses had been shot. They had multiple wounds. They were shot in the back, in the bellies, everywhere. And I was never notified of this.
Pickens flew to a ranch after BLM told her there was a problem at Boone Spring, a mountaintop water source that was no longer operable. BLM claimed 300 Mustangs were gathered around the spring and in bad shape. What they didn't tell Pickens is that they'd already gunned down several horses, which had then been dragged into a pile and left to rot. She only discovered the grisly carcasses by sending up her own drone. BLM then told her what they later told the I-Team, that 8 horses were in such bad shape they had to be, quote, humanely euthanized.
Euthanized? This is what you call euthanization? That is supposed to be kind and humane? We saw how they were shot and, you know, all over their bellies and their backs. It was the saddest, sickest thing I'd ever seen. I just, you know, that broke me. It actually broke me in two when I saw that.
Longtime wild horse advocate and former U.S. Senate staffer Jerry Reynoldson, who's worked for Pickens at times, has seen the BLM do some terrible things to Mustangs, but nothing like this.
George, horses that are gut shot suffer for extended periods of time. A horse shot in the head will die at nearly an immediate death. A horse gut shot will lay on the ground and throw its legs and kick its legs for a long time, and death will be very slow coming. So there is nothing humane about this.
In the last 2 years, BLM has stepped up its roundups of Mustangs, and nearly all are labeled as emergencies, which allows BLM to sidestep normal procedures. This particular emergency didn't need to happen. For 2 years, Pickens has been asking BLM for permission to fix Boone Spring. She sought permission to fix the washed-out roads leading to the spring. BLM said no to both. When Pickens said she'd pay for a helicopter to bring in water troughs, the answer was the same.
I said, well, okay, I tell you what, you've got 4 troughs here, nobody's drinking from them. How about if you would loan me one of your troughs, I will take it up the mountain to Boone Springs, and I will fill it up there. But she says, no, you may not touch one of these troughs. She said, I don't care what you do. And here it was, an emergency.
We wanted to ask BLM why the horses had been shot in their stomachs and backs and elsewhere, but multiple requests for interviews were denied. 2 years ago, you might recall, unknown persons sabotaged another part of the Pickens ranch, disabled the water supply, and cut the fences on a 13,000-acre enclosure. A dozen or more Mustangs died. The rest of the herd was scattered. Pickens believes BLM wants her to surrender her land so it can be repurposed for cattle grazing. If you'd like to see our previous reports on Pickens versus the BLM, dating back 8 years now, they're on our website, LasVegasNow.com.
She's been up against that agency for a long time.
Not giving up, though.
Yeah, good for her.
And it's difficult to see those images.
Yeah, we blurred
time.
them out, but you can see the photos on the website.
Yeah. All right, thanks, George.